opportunities and how prepared graduating seniors are for life after education. WHAS11's Ian Hardwitt is joining us live here in the studio now. He's been looking over the data today. And Ian, what did they say about those scores?
Doug, they're proud of progress, but also acknowledging some setbacks. Across the state, those setbacks are in science, and at JCPS, it's reading. Both education leaders warn against looking just at the data and say it's important to look at change over time. Across Kentucky, students still struggle with reading and math scores on standardized tests. But the Department of Education Commissioner Robbie Fletcher says those paint an incomplete picture of public education.
The label doesn't matter to me. Student growth is where did you get the child and where did you take them?
In measuring that change, a majority of Kentucky schools met the mark, improving reading and math skills, though Fletcher showed concern for a decline in science test scores. At JCPS, which teaches about 1 in 5 Kentucky public school students, math improved while reading slipped back, though neither went above pre-COVID levels. Superintendent Marty Polio explained it's because of student apathy for standardized tests, missed classroom time from late buses, and the months-long gap between May testing and October reports.
Kids don't have much of a skin in the game when it comes to standardized testing.
Polio pointed out where the district succeeded, the gap between black and white student graduation rates closed, now just a difference of 0.5%. At 88.2%, JCPS has its highest ever number of students graduating, an improvement of just over 8% from 10 years ago. Plus, 82.3% of students walk the stage ready for college or a career.
What it means is we're getting our kids to the finish line, which is the mission and vision of this district, and making sure that they are ready for post-secondary, college, technical programs, those type of things. So we're very proud of that.
Outside of test scores, the state survey showed most schools report an increase in how safe students and families feel.
When someone tells you that I'm going to allow you to take care of my child, there's no greater compliment.
That reporting requirement was added by the state legislature in 2020. Fletcher and Polio both pushed for additional reports to hold school districts accountable. The department is working on adding more measures, like how involved parents are at a school and how much practical, real-world experience students get outside the classroom.
The superintendent also said that the late school buses impacted instructional time, therefore the scores. I've been hearing from some school bus drivers on our Facebook page saying, hey, we didn't have any say in that plan that turned out to be a disaster, Ian.
That's right. Polio was saying earlier when he was talking about his retirement this week that he took responsibility for that plan. He said it was a major reason that the buses were running late. And he also said he wasn't surprised that the scores actually looked worse considering all of that. He said students were missing math and reading almost every single day.
And some of the counties that are right outside of Jefferson, how did they do?
We have Oldham County out to the east. They're doing the best with their test scores. Over half of their students are at or above grade level where they should be. We have Spencer County also doing well, but Jefferson doing easily one of the worst jobs in the area. But they said those test scores, they don't paint the full picture.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Ian. Well, in Indiana, 1 of every 5 Indiana 5th graders are not proficient in literacy. 89% of Indiana students complete their graduation requirements, and more than half of those students received college credit while still in high school. The Indiana Department of Education has a handy data dashboard to help compare school districts. Here's what it looks like for Greater Clark County schools. You can see the only measurement they have in the red are the percentage of seniors earning high-level college or career credentials.
Well, you could get a little suntan out around Kentucky out of today because the skies are just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
A lot of sunshine and perfect temperatures as folks are getting ready to head into a great weekend of weather around Kentucky.
Yeah, I did put some sunscreen on when I went out for a walk today, Matt.
Very good. That's what they tell you to do.
I get sunburn if it's cloudy, so
Sure.
at least you get suntan, Doug. I just get sun like tomato. It's not a lot of fun, especially in October. It's just downright embarrassing, but it's the life I live, and at least we've got beautiful weather out there. There's that blue sky, high thin cirrus clouds. There's just fair weather clouds looking really, really nice. As you would expect, Max HD radar sweeping all clear, no issues out there. The reason's a big old area of high pressure up by Chicago, and it's basically driving the weather not just for the Great Lakes and Chicago region, but all across the Ohio River Valley, Midwest, Great Lakes, you name it, basically eastern half of the United States. It is 78 at Bowman, 79 At Ali International, the dew point's 50, a nice low number, which means relative humidity is nice and low. That's why it feels so great out there, and that's why you're not sweating as you're heading outside, just because it's not very humid. A little warmer in central Kentucky here with temperatures in the 80s. You get up to Indiana. Actually, we're basically about the same. Most of us here, upper 70s, low 80s across our part of Indiana and Kentucky. Here's what we're tracking. Really nice weather, sunny days ahead. 80s area wide by tomorrow. So we're starting to warm things up a little bit, but the humidity does not come up. So that's great news for the weekend weather. We'll chat about when we get some cooler fall weather in here in your forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Matt, thank you very much. More of our top stories for you right here today at 5. The former Clark County, Indiana Sheriff Jamie Knoll was in court today as lawyers for his former fire department in southern Indiana and the Attorney General's office are arguing about who's entitled to the funds Knoll allegedly stole. The Attorney General's office is suing to try and recoup $3.8 million while the money was taken from New Chapel EMS's private bank accounts. Judge Roger Duvall said that these are still public funds because they came from government contracts. But after hearing from both sides, he said he's unsure which way to rule.
I vary from following a strict interpretation to needing to have everyone involved. And I'm not sure at this point in time.
The judge will rule on New Chapel EMS's motion to intervene in the next few days. Well, the man facing dozens of criminal charges after an accident on a school bus in Nelson County was back in front of a judge today. Ricardo Gray is accused of stealing a vehicle, leading police on a chase that ended with him slamming right into that school bus.
Yeah, thankfully no one was seriously hurt, but that didn't stop the community concern. Jose Alonso and photojournalist Emma Gafter explained today's court proceedings.
Ricardo Gray was back in court in Nelson County facing 50 separate criminal charges, the majority of them for wanton endangerment. The sheriff's department says Gray led them on a chase in a stolen vehicle that didn't stop until he slammed into a school bus packed with children. The Commonwealth attorney made a plea deal with Gray of a 1-year jail sentence and 5 years of probation.
Parents of the children on the bus were invited to potentially speak in court. That did not end up happening, but we did speak with one father who witnessed the crash that put his 2 children in danger.
You manage to steal a car, you outrun the cops, you take a bus out, you endanger, there's 38 kids on the bus. Then my 2 kids, I had 3, but 2 of them was in harm's way. Them 2, and you only get a year? That doesn't seem fair.
The court could not determine Gray's parole eligibility. They are trying to determine if his alleged crime falls under the Safer Kentucky Act. This took place before the legislation became law. The judge continued the case to a later date to allow attorneys to discuss this situation. In Nelson County, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Now, the decision on the plea deal is scheduled to come up on November 13th.
We're hearing from Kentucky Senator Rand Paul over the growing conflict in the Middle East with Israel. According to ABC News, Israel launched an attack against central Beirut earlier today. The Lebanese Ministry of Public Health reported at least 9 people were killed in that strike, with 14 others hurt. In response to the escalating attacks, Senator Paul stressed his opposition to sending any more aid overseas due to the financial burden it's placing on the U.S.
We give a lot, and we're $2 trillion in the hole. I have not been a big in favor of sending money to Ukraine or Israel. Even though I'm sympathetic to Israel being a democracy in the Middle East, I haven't been for sending more money. We just sent them $26 billion. We usually send them $3 billion a year. It's an enormous amount of money over time.
Now, according to Lebanon's health minister, nearly 2,000 people have been killed since Israel began conducting strikes in October of last year.
And right now, a well-known bar on Bardstown Road that's been on our newscast many times over the years appears to has already shut its doors for good now after surrendering its liquor license just days ago. This morning, our crews noticed Cafe 360 seemingly closed permanently with a large "Available for Lease" sign right out front. You see it here. The cafe gave up its liquor license last week, several months after Kentucky's Alcohol and Beverage Control tried to revoke the license after a fight broke out inside the bar. Cafe 360 has faced trouble for the past 7 months when someone was shot and killed inside the bar back in March. Now, we have tried to contact the owners, but we have not yet heard back.